ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. So I got kind of a special review for you here. It's a dual perspective. You're going to have me, which I'll show you first, in the leaf blower, and then our champion, our victor of the match in our Black Prince, and our his name is Omega 3601 from the clan Onion. Um, I've heard of that clan before, but I just haven't seen much of them. I don't know how many people they have or anything, but shout out to his clan and great job. He carried this match for us. He insisted that I tell you guys that it was basically luck, and like I told him, that really there's no such thing as luck in this game anymore because everybody just slings gold rounds. I mean, it really all boils down to, especially when it's 3 or 4 against 1, it's more skill than anything, especially, like I said, the amount of gold rounds everybody slings around. And when it got down to him by himself there, I think it was, if I remember right, and I'm like I said, I'm just doing this review right now. I haven't even watched the replays, but if I remember right, towards the end there was him against either, I believe 4. It might have been 3, but I think it was 4. And this is one of those maps where you really got to time the shots just right because it's such a big map. But I had a little trouble when I went to make the replay. It was kind of goofy. It just showed like the map, just a picture of a map with no tanks or nothing. I'm like, oh no, it's done this before. And when it did it before, I couldn't get it to work. But this time I was able to get it to work, thank goodness. So, anyways. So, anything that's lighting up, I'm just trying to get shots in on it. And basically, you got to kind of, you got to learn the players as you watch them from your artillery to see how they're moving. See if they're just going to sit still or how they wiggle around, or if they, like this guy here in the M7, he'd pop out, shoot back up, and so on and so forth. Now, their best player is back there in the SU-100Y, so I was going to try taking him out, but somebody already got him. So that's the shit barn there, or not? I think no, that's called what do they people call that? The box or something. The ship barn's the 4005. But so anyways, basically what I'm doing is trying to target any of the top tier tanks on the enemy team. And a lot of times when you hit them with this thing, you don't do a lot of damage. Like, well, that one I hit him in the side and only hit him for 135. But they're moving right up, and it's kind of weird to see, your heavies moving in this area here. Usually they're here bunched up. So basically, I'm just focusing on anything that's in this area right here because obviously I'm right here. And if they come around that corner, me be spotted, me be dead. And it looked like they only had 1 or 2 tanks in this area up here. And we had 2 tank destroyers and 2 mediums. So I wasn't really worried about anything trying to come around and flank us. I don't even aim up there, I don't believe. I think I basically stay on these guys here, and then I start working on these guys over here. The AT-7, I get a shot. I think I missed this one here. This thing doesn't have really that much of splash to it. So a lot of times when you see it says that he did splash damage with it, it's because basically I took that shot and just went right to the next target. But if you get any splash damage with this, is basically, I think pretty much you hit right on it. It just, like that shot right there. I don't know if that one, well, 168 in KV1. I think that's damage. Yeah, when it shows that little track, that's damage they took when they got tracked. But the M7 does no armor, and I only hit him for 182. And you'll see I hit the AT-7 here, but he gives me a side, so it was a beautiful shot in his side and hit him for 9. But it actually, that was more splash. You can see a hit right there. I do hit him direct shot. At least I thought I did. Maybe I didn't. I thought I did like 100 and some damage to him. Anyways, so we've got a Hellcat down here, and we've got 2 enemy tanks down here. Now, the further away you start taking shots with this, the more you have to lead your rounds, and it's a lot harder when your enemy tanks are moving like this. Because when you lead the shot, I mean, all they got to do is move to the left a little bit, and, boom, your shot missed. So this side is, with our guys, is kind of melting here. So I started working on these guys over here as much as I could. I wasn't really successful at hitting these because they're moving so damn fast. And like I said, at that distance, you really got to lead your targets, and it makes it really hard to hit anything. This M4 backs up, and I think I go to another target, and then I go back to him. I believe I take him out. I know I take out one tank. Can't remember which one it is, but so we're aiming in at the Fury, and we miss him. So, that's what I'm saying. That's the hardest thing with this artillery is the round goes so high that you really have to lead your target quite a bit. So, I mean, it doesn't look that far, but it was. I mean, 108, we finally took him out. So now I start working on these guys here. I believe the Hummel takes out the Fury, and so basically I'm just going to start dropping lead on these guys. This leaf blower artillery does have a pretty good arc on it, so a lot of times, yeah, we hit the TOG 2 for 157, but we hit him right in you can see right in his turret, that yellow mark there, 148, but we're hitting him in the side and dropping him basically flat on his head, so it's going to do an alright amount of damage. That time we hit him for 124. Now the KV-3 is a different story. This thing's got hella armor on it, so we hit him for 34. He's got 498 hit points left. 86. So basically it's just like, whittling him down just a little at a time. But I'm thinking he's out of what they have left right now, he is basically the biggest threat for ROI was there, but he's got taken out for Omega 3601 in the Black Prince there. Black Prince has actually got decent armor and a decent gun. It hits for like an average, I believe, 150, and it's got an alright rate of fire. I started sweating bullets here because I was getting down on ammo. I got 1 HE round and then 6 8 heat rounds. But like I said, when you hit something with those AP rounds, a lot of times they don't do squat. But by this time right here, the T-71 is heading right at me. I don't think I'm spotted. I don't have 6th sense on this. That'll be the next thing I work on getting. But Omega 3601 tells me, says, come to me. But this thing is so slow. There's no way I could have made it over even remotely close to. I would probably got over to this part of the hill and just been taken out, and my butt would have been facing the enemy guy here in the T-71. So my thought was, well, I'm going to turn around and at least try and get one shot into him. But the reloads on this is pretty good, so I'm thinking, well, maybe I'll take out a load or his track, whatever, something. But we hit him for 334, and we did hit him with an AP round, but look how slow this turns. There's just no way I could have turned quick enough. There's no way with the speed that T-71 has, I could have made it anywhere remotely close to him. But, so it's Omega 3601 in the Black Prince, and he's versus 2 artilleries and the T-71 CMCD, I think it is. And you'll see, he's only a half health, 748. So he's missing basically 700 hit points, so just a little under half his health. But the problem is, artillery spots him. Oops. And then once he gets spotted there, that 304 can basically drop rounds pretty much. Here, let me zoom out a little bit. Anywhere in little grooves like this. You get in there and you think you're safe, and all of a sudden, arty rounds start hitting you. And I think he gets hit here in a minute. And you'll see what I mean, as you can see where he's setting. And so if arty's like anywhere over here, he can lob rounds right in this little area where most artilleries can't hit you in that area. And I told him right here, and this is where when you're in a match and it's really down to the wire like this, You want to make sure you have good communication with the guy that's left. I told him, I hit him one time, and that's why, he had told me, come to me. I wanted to kind of explain why I didn't real quick, and I just said, this thing fires fast, but moves slow as hell. He said, what's the T-71's HP? But I wasn't sure because I couldn't really remember. I just knew I hit him for, where was it? Yeah, 334. I couldn't remember how many hit points that thing has, to be honest with you. I want to say it's around 1,000 or like 1,100 maybe, but I didn't want to give him false information, so I figured I'm better off just kind of keeping my mouth shut. And I was hoping somebody else that was kind of watching when I hit him, knew what he had. But I knew I at least hit him one time, and I typed that. So, oh, and then I also put in there, I said, you got this, kick their asses. You want to get them kind of pepped up, get that adrenaline flowing, let them know, hey, don't think you're going to lose. You got a good chance to win, and there comes the arty rounds. And, between two arties and that T-71, if you really think about it, arty's going to sit back there and drop rounds on you, like they're doing there. So, literally they could really have torn him up. And that's why when he was saying, hey, just let him know, it was just good luck. The T-71 was a bad player. It wasn't that the T-71 was a bad player. It was just the simple fact that he was using his skill to, he stopped back there, probably thinking artillery was going to keep shooting at him. So you figure you stop there for a second, arty rounds are going to go in front of you. But it's really down to, more skill than anything. Nowadays, it's nothing to do with luck. I mean, you do get lucky sometimes when people come to you one at a time versus, yeah, see, they're all lighting up and he's just got hit again by the 304. Well, at least that's where the 304 was. But like the 304 just kind of sat there and, got nailed. So, but here comes the T-71, which it doesn't have the autoloader anymore, and I think the reload on it's like about maybe 6 seconds. So they both take a shot and kind of dunk them in the in the dirt or whatever. But that T-71, you can see, took his track off, but Omega fixed it, and he was able to finish him off. And he's scooting out of there, which is a very smart thing to do. And he's not going in a straight line. You can see he's going at an angle. He's moving around. He's just waiting for that arty shell to pop in with 192 health. Literally, that's was it the 44, I think? Oh, the M41 HMC. It's got like if I remember, it's got about a 19-second load time. And he can hit you for that. And he knows he's behind him. He got pretty lucky that the 41 shot in front of him there. But, it's got a fast enough reload, and it hits for enough that he could have actually, if he would have hit him right there, he would have taken Omega out and game over. So, he was turning his turret, and he got this frontal armor kind of facing him now, and basically you can see he just took him out. So kudos to him, but I said he'll be reloaded. Because I've got one of those, my reload, if I remember. It's the 44 and the 41, and one of them has, like, I think one of them I know I've got both, or one of them I have, and the reload on mine is 16 seconds, with food, gun rammer, good crew, all that stuff. It's like a 16-second load time. So I told him, I'm like, hey, he might be loaded, but he was able to come around and pop him and finish him off. So kudos to Omega 3601 from the Clan Onion. So if you want to hold on for a minute, I will be right back with the replay from the Black Prince. Omega 3601 is view of what he saw. So, and like I said, I haven't even seen it yet. So watching this will be the first time for me to watch it too. So I will be right back. Alrighty, so here we are back on Serene Coast, and now we are on Omega 3601 from the Clan Onion in the Black Prince. And look at that, right here, look at that stinking trucker, hey, look at that stud. Oh, well, what are you going to say? But anyway, so this is the perspective of his replay. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to throw his in there too, so you can kind of see what was going through his mind when this was all going on. I'm going to leave it locked exactly on kind of what he was seeing. Obviously, I got, the third person, move it around, free camera view, and then this view. Now, I've never done, to be honest with you, a review, or not a review, but a replay where I've put, you know, two different perspectives, mine and somebody else that was in the match, in as a replay. So this is kind of cool, something new for me. I know I've seen some people do it where they're like, oh, they're T29 over here, and then they'll say, let's see what the other guy was doing. They'll throw that in there for a little bit. But I don't have the niftiest, neatest, nicest recording software, so I don't have the ability to, you know, really be able to do that. So basically, by the looks of it, excuse me, we're going to see exactly what he was seeing. So if he goes into third person or gun view or whatever, we're going to see exactly what he was seeing. So this is kind of cool for me, actually. But like I said, you know, he's going over to the right spots where all the heavies normally go. So, you know, he knew what he was doing on the map. It wasn't like he just went over here because, well, you know, luck have it. It's like I was telling him, you know, you knew what you were doing. And can you shoot? I didn't know if you could shoot through the... It looks like you can shoot through the bridge. It sure looks like you should be able to shoot through the bridge. Huh, interesting. I guess you can't. I don't know. That's weird. I actually don't even think the tank should light up if you shouldn't be able to you know how it gets that red like mark around it. It doesn't seem like you should be able to even do that if you can't shoot through the darn bridge. You know, that's like false hope. So if you see any arty rounds flying in at the AT-7, that would be me. And yeah, that looks like... Well, my tank doesn't have the stun capability. So if you see a stun like that come over them, tier 5, or excuse me, it doesn't go by tier, it goes by the gun that it has. I believe you have to have at least a certain millimeter gun to be able to do the stunning capability. And that's why I really like the leaf blower, because you don't. It's like that OI is got bumper cars going on here. That's the problem when you got two big tanks, two big, heavy, slow-moving tanks, is you start bumping at each other. And, you know, he didn't do that on purpose. I mean, obviously, he was trying to move around them, and just bumped into them. And that Fury's got a fast-firing gun. It's got decent frontal armor. But the penetration on this is actually pretty good, if I remember right. Yeah, 171 standard, and your premium bumps you to 239. I don't know what your HE do. Let's find out. 38 penetration. Oh, so that's who took him out, because that's that, I think M4, whatever it was, I was, or not M4, oh shoot, I forgot to change this, sorry guys. M7, that was M7 that I was landing some rounds on. There's that -9, that was me hitting them. And I always target them, so you can see, you know, that, you know, I like to target the things so people know exactly what I'm shooting at, especially when it comes down to, hopefully, you know, they're not near where I'm shooting at, so I don't hit them. It looks like he's going to kind of go over this way and try working on the KV-3 and what was that over there? T-67. And you can see artillery, you know, starting to get a bead on them, so you really got to watch it. God, his reload on that is pretty darn quick, 4.31 seconds. That's pretty impressive. I don't know how, I didn't ask him how many matches he has in it, but he must have a pretty decent amount of matches in it for a reload like that. Yeah, KV-3 must be on the other side of the... Oh, he's on the other... Is he on the other side of the hill? No, he's just on the other side of that tank there. Yep, there he is. But you can see our team is kind of slowly dissipating here. So they've got 8 left and we've got 5. I've got it set up where it shows the remaining amount of tanks. Oh, nice pen. Looks like the KV-3 had his gun turned just enough the one way where he could pen it. But, it's got to be kind of scary for him having, you know, two of their biggest tanks come at him, and they're both pretty, yeah, one of them, the Tog, was like pretty healthy, and the KV-3 was actually pretty healthy too. But he switched over to premium rounds, which is a smart thing to do, because KV-3, I've got that, and that turret is a really good turret. It is not easy to pen. So 171 standard round would definitely not go through that KV-3's turret. It's kind of neat seeing the replay with, being that I was in the artillery dropping rounds on him, so I can see what I was doing, or hit and missing him. But you can see that the TOG 2 shooting premium rounds. And it looks like the TOG 2 was still having a little bit of trouble going through them too. And this is where I was focusing on the KV-3. So, well, I guess this would be a good thing where the stun effect would help in a way, because, you stun them and then their gun reticle gets huge. And unfortunately, that T-67 snuck in there and got around, hit him in the keister there. And something, what did we get? Oh, it looks like we just lost, our OI got taken out up there. But, yeah, he takes out the T-67, and he's down to standard rounds. So he's going to have a little trouble going through this KV-3 unless he can hit him in a lower plate, or commander's hatch, or like a driver's port. And you can see I'm still dropping rounds on him, so, we worked this guy over pretty good. Yeah, he's putting him through the commander's hatch, so. And Kaplooey took him out. But this is where I get taken out here. You can see that the T-71's heading towards me, and, he's heading back. Yeah, he said come to me, but it was too late. I was toasted. There's nothing I could do. So it's down to him against the T-71 and the two artilleries now. He's up to 1,818 damage, and he's blocked 1,665. That's one thing about the Black Prince, is the front of this, if they hit you in this area, I think this area, I don't even know if this one is a weak spot. I know this one is. I'm not sure about the one on the left there. It might be. I'm not 100% sure. That's about the weakest areas of this. You can see people were penning them there. It's flat, and that's where he gets shot on the artillery. Oh boy, he was really almost loaded there. No, that's where I told him, this thing fires fast but moves slow. But you can see he's doing a good job of, making sure that they don't flank him, kind of staying in the bush, so if there's anything, still over in this area, and that ended up being where the 304 was. See, I thought the 304, the way the rounds are dropping in, I was thinking he was probably, over here somewhere. That's where I told him, you got this, kick their asses. Like I said, though, it seems like about 99% of the time where I'm on in a match like this, where it's down to one guy on my team versus three, it seems like more often than not my team ends up losing. So, kudos to him in this Black Prince, because it is slow moving, but it's got a hella good gun. Fast firing. Standard penetration is pretty darn good. Premium 239, so it bumps you up there where, even if you're bottom tier, you're still able to do some damage to stuff. But you can see he's getting, that 304 is just dropping him right on his head. So, it really sucks when you get hit by those things and it stuns you. I don't know if the 304 is able to stun you. I wasn't paying attention, because I'm not sure if the gun on that is big enough to have the stun effect. Because I know, like on the leaf blower, you don't get the stun effect for that gun. I'll have to see if he gets hit by the 304. I can't remember if he does or doesn't one more time. No, it doesn't have the stun effect, because you can see his reticle still shrinking in, and he didn't get all those goofy up down arrows or whatever over his gun and stuff. So, but it looks like he did an auto. Oh, I see what happened. He did an auto lock, and he come around the corner, and the front of his track went up in the air there. So that's why it shot up in the air like that. See, that's the difference when you're able to see it from somebody else's perspective. You can see exactly why what happened. You know, because when I was watching it, I had no clue that he did an auto lock. I'm thinking, is he in first person view and he just donked the shot? I think I said something like that, like, hey, he shot the dirt and the 71 shot the dirt. Well, I didn't know he had the auto lock set up, and that's where I put anyone know where Artie is. And yeah, he thought he was over there too. That's where I thought one of the Arties were. And then you can see he's like, oh shit, he's behind me. And he did the auto lock. And auto lock can come in handy big time. Especially when it comes down to the wire and you really need be able to maneuver the tank and still shoot at the same time. Everybody's like, you got this. I mean, if Artie would have hit him, it could have taken him out. I mean, he's got 192 health left. And Kaplawi, he nails him and in for the win. So that was definitely an awesome job. Omega 3601 from the Clan Onion. Shout out to you, brother. Phenomenal match. Great job, man. Glad to have you on my team. And I finally got it to where it was 1 versus 3 for him. And I was on the team that won. Yay. But anyways, phenomenal job, Omega 3601 from the Clan Onion. Great job. And if you guys want to hold on for a minute, I will have some post-game stats. Well, here's the results of that battle, and wow. I know I just made a video with this artillery not that long ago, but I'm getting real close to getting a mark on it. I'm at 63.84, almost 64%, so I've been playing it a lot recently just to get a mark on it. And I couldn't have asked for a better team. Wow. The guy that was in our Black Prince there carried it, and I tell you, without him, we would have lost that. He played spectacular once he was on his own, especially when the enemy team had a 304, fast firing, but it had to be kind of close by because they don't have that good of a range, but it can basically hit, in little valleys and stuff where normal artilleries can't hit. So you try and hide in a valley, next thing you know, you're getting plugged by that damn thing. But anyways, so yeah, the results of that match was a Mastery Badge Class 1, Bruiser, that's a Bruiser, right? Yeah, Bruiser, and a Confederate. I made 100,000, Jesus, if I could talk, in 915 credits. Oh my God, let's spit it out today. And the experience was 4,541, and it's a 3x weekend. And I also made a bond. I was like, dang, I didn't know you could make bonds with tier 5s, but I forgot it's if you get any of these special ed ribbons, and I got a Confederate. So, like I said before about this thing, it doesn't hit for a lot. I mean, there was a couple times. Oops, I forgot I still got these things coming up. There was a couple times I only hit that KV3 for like, I think, 13, but, I hit him 5 times, and it tallies up. Hit him for 344 total, and knocked out his track observation device, and destroyed his track. And because we tracked him, he got hit for 49 damage. I think I'm not sure. It might have been the guy in our, I keep saying our guy, Omega 3601 from Onion. And our Black Prince there, I think he actually finished him off. Hit the AT-7 one time for 141. Actually hit him in the side. That's why I was able to do that much damage. If I'd hit him in the front, yeah, probably would have done 30. But we knocked out his track, and then when he was tracked, he ended up getting hit for 275. So that's the big important thing about being able to track somebody. T-71 CMCD at the very end there. All I had left, I shot every one of my HE rounds, and I only carry 6 heat rounds, because normally, if I'd have been shooting, like, let's say the KV-1 with those, they'd have been bouncing off. I'd have went ting, ting, or the Tank destroyer. Those heat rounds, they don't have crap for pen, like 100, 101, and they just don't pen worth a crap. And I don't even carry any AP because penetration on those is only 64. But luckily, the thing that was coming at me, the T-71 CMCD there, has literally no armor, so we were able to hit him for 334. Now, if I would have hit him with an HE round, probably wouldn't have done, I don't know, with the amount of armor that has it. What's the maximum damage that shell can do? Well, average is 410, and the max is 513. So we wouldn't have one-shot him because it's got more than 513 health. But in turn, it helped the Black Prince there be able to finish him off because he was missing, because he was full health, if I remember right, when he was coming at me. So he was missing 334 of his health. Tog 2, we hit him 3 times, which is just a big pinata of, damage for 429. Churchill 1, we hit him twice for 285 and knocked out his engine and his track. Hit the KV-1 twice for 220 and knocked out his track. And he got hit for 179 after I knocked his track off. And the M4 there, we hit him for 108 and finished him off and knocked out his track radio operator. And the M7 hit him once for 182. This is a message from that guy. I just told him I was making a video using this, so I said, I hope you don't mind. He said, thanks, go ahead, I can send you my replay as well. And I'll say, oh, that would be awesome. So I'll send him my email there, and then I can use both perspectives, his and mine, so you can see kind of, what I was doing and what he was doing, because it ended up working out. And towards the end, this one big, bad, super huge drawback about this artillery, and it's like I told him, because he said, artillery, move to me. But the problem is, this thing is so slow, I would have been killed anyways. Even if I tried running, there's no way. They had, the 304 there. That moves, around fast enough, let alone that T-71 there. I think books right along too. So there's just no way I would have been able to get out of that area and, run for it. We ended up getting a couple blind shots in there, so we did 2,043 damage, and we got 1 kill. We did second most damage. Base experience on that was 870. We had 37 shots, 16 direct hits, 8 splashes for the 2,043 damage. And from more than 300 meters, it was 1,709 damage. We got hit twice, and that was from the CMCD there. We damaged 8, destroyed 1, and damage with our assistance was 503. Made just a crap ton of credits. 100,915. And after everything, consumables, ammo and everything, we still made 76,067 credits. So that was a phenomenal match for this, credit-wise. But I also had a couple boosters popped. So, yeah, additional crew experience, additional free experience, and 50% extra credits. So whenever I play something that a lot of times you won't make a lot of credits with, if you end up shooting a lot of ammo, I like to pop one of those, and ended up working out. So like our experience for the match, all in all, after all the bonuses, oops, he's got to say here. I think he meant he sent it. Let me see. Oh, And that's why it pays off to be nice to people. Now, he sent me a friend request, and I went ahead and accepted it. And hopefully he sent the replay there so I can snag it real quick, and then I'll throw that in here too. I had my other buddy, Click Boom, sent me an invite for to run in the platoon, but the only problem is my internet is right on the border of being good and not so good, so my ping is a little high, so I can't run I could run with somebody, but I couldn't use TeamSpeak at the same time. TeamSpeak is actually the best that I've used for being able to talk to somebody on my team, but it still draws my internet down quite a bit, and then I'll get, sometimes unfortunately really bad lag. Um, like my ping rate now, well, it's not 158. Yeah, it's 67. But once you add TeamSpeak on there, it almost doubles or triples it. So I just get my lag just sucks so bad that I can't use the TeamSpeak. And they've got that other one that's some free to use, kind of like TeamSpeak, and I've tried that one. That one's even worse. That's probably the worst I've used. I don't know what the difference is, but that one, if I even have a good ping where I could use TeamSpeak. If I use this other TeamSpeak-like program, forget it. It's just I can't even talk. But anyway, so our experience on that, using the boosters that I did, we ended up getting 5,063. And I'm hoping, excuse me, one more match, and I'll get a mark on that barrel for this little rascal. Getting really close, so I'm thinking maybe one, hopefully no more than 1 or 2 matches, and I'll get a mark on that. And then I can stop playing it for a while. I've only got 123 matches in it, and my son's used my account before, and he likes playing this little guy because it shoots so fast. But you can see for consumables, I've got strong coffee. Well, that's weird. I could have swore I had. Oh, no, that's one of my other artilleries. I used the better fuel and something else. Can't remember. But yeah, so that's what 20 grand right there for one of these. So anyways, yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the match. I haven't even put it together yet, but I'll check my email and get the replay from the gentleman that was in the Black Prince that carried it for the end there. I think it was like 3 or 4 against him, and he was able to pull that off. So awesome, kudos to him. Very good job. I was happy to have him on my team. For normally when it ends up being like 3 or 4 and one on my team like that, our team ends up losing. So it was kind of a relief to have somebody on your team that was able to carry it the rest of the way to a win. And we worked kind of together. The team did, I told him, hey, I hit him once for like 300, or I said I hit him once and took a chunk out of him or something. And whenever somebody popped up on the map that lit up, we were clicking on there so he'd turn around real quick and see him. And at the very end there, we were like, hey, where I typed on there, anybody know where Artie spotted? So that, was helping him kind of figure out where to aim his gun. So, and it was funny, I think, if I remember right, somebody clicked on right where he thought he was going to be, and boom, he got lit up and he was right where somebody had clicked. So probably helped him get his gun turned around in time. So. But anyways, I'll get that thrown together and get her out there tonight so you guys can check it out. But you guys take it easy, be safe, and I will see you on the battlefield.